Yeah, greetings, great 12. I really salute you. I give you all the thumbs up. You are such a class of excellency. I just wanna thank you so much for the engagement that we have 2025. I'm quite sure that it has been so developmental and quite a lot of you, I'm sure you have got testimonies that it Metric Hub, things that are happening from the preparatory examination that we wrote. It was all out the practice sessions and videos that we did during preparatory examinations. I'm sure for those who knows or who want to do something in their life and who are here for achievements, you are really seeing great strides of good work. So Metric Hub basically it ensures total inclusivity through education. We actually outreach every corner, everyone. Nobody must be left out through a virtual class, which is actually readily convenient. It's a new paradigm to academic success. So please just recommend your brothers, recommend your sisters, refer your inner cycles. Tell them that Metric Hub is the best place to be. We are here to change lives. We are here to develop future leaders. We are here to develop a community. We are here to build tomorrow. So we won't and we will not gonna waste any time. And please let them come. Tell them that it has been wow. It has been wow. So we can mark today. Let's mark before we go to festive season, before we go to Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. We just want to go and celebrate in good assurance that we have done it. This is your paper 1 2025. As you can see, this is 2025, November 2025, paper 1. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go straight to the questions. I'm just going to go straight to the questions, instructions, and everything. You guys, you are quite aware. You have done it, and you have actually uh, proved yourself to be those people. So, question number 1: the hormone that prepares the body for an emergency. The hormone that prepares the body for an emergency. I'm sure that we have seen quite a lot of times that it is uh, adrenaline hormone. Adrenaline hormone, adrenaline hormone is actually the one that prepares the body for emergency. I'm sure I remember that what happens is that uh, the adrenaline hormone, also known as the epinephrine, uh, is often called the emergency hormone. It is actually an emergency hormone or a fight or flight hormone. It is rapidly secreted by the adrenal glands in response to stress or danger, preparing the body for quick actions by increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and alertness. So as you can see, it is that hormone that prepares the body for emergency. And then we can talk about aldosterone in terms of balancing of iron or salt in the body. Progesterone is a reproductive hormone that is responsible for maintenance of pregnancy, maintenance of the endometrium. Prolactin is actually a hormone that is secreted from the mammary, I mean, to stimulate the mammary glands in terms of increasing the production of milk. So I'm saying number one is C. Number one is C. And then, which of the following are the functions of the placenta? The placenta, actually, it is there for excretion and nutrition. Placenta is actually there for excretion and nutrition. As you can see, temperature regulation and excretion, these are processes that are controlled from the amnion. So the placenta, basically, it allows diffusion of nutrients and also gases, which we understand that the umbilical cord is connected thereof. So what you need to understand is that it has nothing to do with mechanical injuries, because mechanical injuries are also functions that are that are offered by the amniotic fluid. So therefore, our answer is what? Is A. Our answer is A. And then the table below shows the reaction table for four learners to a stimulus. Reaction table for four learners to a stimulus. We have got time, name of the learner, reaction time, and we are given all those names of students or learners that are there. Which one of the following learners demonstrate the fastest response to a stimulus? Which one demonstrate the fastest reaction to a stimulus? We can see that the fastest reaction to the stimulus is actually Jod, which is D. It is D. What happens is that what you need to understand is that reaction time is the duration it takes to to respond to a stimulus. When we are talking about reaction time, it is the duration it takes to respond to a stimulus. The fastest response corresponds to the shortest reaction time. When we say the fastest response, it must actually relate to to the shortest reaction time. So comparing these times, you can actually see that the shortest time is the one which is 4 seconds, which is short. That is showing the shortest reaction time we are saying is the fastest, which is Jod, which is shown as D in this case. And then a high level of thyroxine in the blood will stimulate the dash. A high level of thyroxine in the blood. Basically, it will stimulate pituitary gland to secrete less thyroid stimulating hormone, which is A. It actually causes the pituitary gland to secrete less of thyroid stimulating hormone. So what I want you to understand is that thyroid what happens is that the thyroid hormone levels or thyroid hormone levels are regulated by a negative feedback loop involving the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. So what happens is that when the levels of thyroxine and thyroxine in the blood is high, it actually signals or it stimulates the pituitary gland to reduce the amount of thyroid stimulating hormone, which we call TSH. So this negative feedback helps to maintain a constant appropriate level of thyroid hormones in the body. So when we have got high levels of thyroxine, as I said, it actually causes reaction A to take place, which is controlled through a negative feedback loop. Let's just go to the next question. It is based on the female reproductive system. If you can remember very well, paper one that I last posted for you, the video that I gave you last time, the latest one towards examinations. For those who are following, I always tell you that Metric Hub will never let you down. So let's just go. This was typically the same paper that I gave you. The tips that I gave you are exactly what we are seeing in this November examination. Which one of the following combination is correct for a normal pregnancy? For a normal pregnancy, which one of the following is correct? So what we need to understand is that we are given site of fertilization and site of implantation. You need to know that where do we have fertilization? Fertilization, it actually takes place in the fallopian tubes. Fertilization, it occurs in the fallopian tubes. And then we need also to understand that the site for implantation, it actually occurs. It occurs in what? Implantation, it occurs on Q. Implantation, it occurs on the endometrium. So it is implantation, it occurs the attachment of the fertilized egg to the what? To the uterus, which is on the endometrium. So what we are saying is S is actually the uterus. S is the uterus, which we cannot agree or which we cannot say that it is what it is for implantation. And then we can say maybe the vagina, which we can say R. So now, given this, what we need to say is that which one of the following combination is correct for a normal pregnancy. So fertilization, we said that fertilization, it takes place in P. Fertilization takes place in P. So P is correct that it takes fertilization in P and then not in S. P and S not correct. S is not correct. And then S is not correct. It's P and Q. So our answer is what? Our answer is C. It is in the fallopian tubes or oviduct and the endometrium, which is P and Q. That is where fertilization occurs. Fertilization, it actually occurs there. And then in which part does the zygote develop into a marula? In which part does the zygote develop into a marula? As we can see, uh, it occurs it actually the zygote develops into a marula. It is actually in part in the what in the fallopian tubes, which is P T D the fallopian tubes, which is also D. And then I've been always giving you tips that you should always know that the process of fertilization, from fertilization to implantation or up to birth, that is one of the key areas of concern which every learner in life sciences must not overlook. So the following is a list of male reproductive parts. Number 7. The following is the list of male reproductive parts. And we are given these parts there as they are given. Which one of the following combination is responsible for formation of semen? For the formation of semen, we should understand that it is the prostate gland. We are saying the prostate gland must be there in terms of the semen. We must have also the seminal vascle. It is also responsible for semen production, and the corpus gland. So the urethra is a tube, it's a passage. So it must be what? B. B should be the right answer, or is actually the right answer in terms of the semen. We are talking about the various glands that are, we are talking about the positions and areas of secretions of semen. It is those three: the seminal vascle, the corpus, and the prostate gland. I'm sure I remember very well these questions. Actually is as you remember that semen is composed of sperm and fluids from several accessory glands. I'm sure that prostate gland, you know, that secretes slightly acidic it secretes slightly acidic fluid that makes up 20 to 30% of semen volume. And you need to know that it contains enzymes and enzymes which actually nourishes and activates sperms. And the seminal vascle, of course, produce the majority of the fluid of total volume, which we can talk about as the semen, which is rich in what? In energy source and other substances that help the survival of the sperm cell. So I want you to take note of this. So number 80. Let's just go to question number 80. Question next is the representation of a human sperm cell. It is the human sperm cell which you can see. I also had this in I also gave you this in the latest presentation, like I was saying, the sperm is not structurally suitable for fertilization because of the dash. It is because of dash. As you can see, this sperm cell, it is actually absence of acrosome to improve motility. There is no acrosome. I'm sure I remember the typical sperm cell that we must have. It must have what? It must have the acrosome, which we talked about previously, and we have discussed that uh, the sperm cell without this distinctive cap, which we say uh, it must have the acrosome at the tip. I'm sure that you remember this very well. And then the acrosome contains vital enzymes that digest the outer layers of the egg, allowing the sperm to penetrate and fertilize the egg. Without that, we cannot talk about fertilization occurring. That is one thing that you should know. So we are saying it has got absence of acrosome. Acrosome is not there, as you can see in this question. The following is a list of growth response in plant. Growth response in plant. And then we are given that plant grows straight upwards, no upwards growth, increased number of lateral branches, stems bent towards unilateral light. This is also one interesting area for those in grade 11. I'm sure you know, and we shall see, and we are going to enjoy this. We talk about tropisms. We talk about plant growth to the environment. I mean, plant growth to the environment. So the question is saying, which one of the following combination describes the growth responses that occur when apical buds of plants are removed? When apical buds of the plants are removed, we are saying you must have no upward growth. We have got no upward growth. And also, we can also talk about increase a number of lateral branches. I'm sure you remember this if I talked about uh, it's 2 and 3. It's 2 and 3, which is B only. What happens here is that I've been talking about the issue of plant growth, plant hormones. So removing the apical bud or the tip of the main stem, it has the following. It basically causes some effects such as no upward growth. The primary growing plant or the primary growing point, the apical main stem is removed, stopping further increase in height of the main stem. And also we can talk about increased number of lateral branches. The apical buds produces auxins, a hormone that actually suppresses the growth of side shoots. So if it is removed now, therefore we can have those side shoots growing. That is why you see that we say B is the right answer in that case. Which one of the following is correct for a person who exercises on a hot day without taking in any liquids? When a person takes exercises on a hot day without taking uh, in any liquids, we can talk about increased ADH. So what happens is that it should be increased antidiuretic hormone secretion and increased permeability of renal tubules. Which I want you to understand is that when a person exercises in a hot day without drinking water, they lose water through sweat, leading to dehydration and more concentrated blood. The blood will be more concentrated, so the body responds by releasing more ADH from the pituitary gland to conserve the water. The water must be conserved. So high levels of ADH increases the permeability of the renal tubules. So therefore, what we are saying is that the answer should be what? Should be A. A suits to be the right answer. We give the right word, the biological term for each of the following statements. We give the correct biological term. The ovarian hormone that is secreted by the corpus luteum We are saying corpus luteum. Remember that it is actually, it produces what? It produces the progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone. It is progesterone hormone that is produced by corpus luteum after ovulation. We say that the remaining membrane, which has been covering the ovule, it is called corpus luteum. Therefore, it secretes what? It is the one that secretes progesterone. And then question 1.22, the eye defect that is characterized by a cloud lens, which also impairs vision. We call that cataracts. Cataracts, cataracts, the clouding of the eye, which we say that it also causes problems in as an eye defect. The production of ova by meiosis, we've been talking about gametes formation, which we said that there are two of them, gametogenesis, which has got the oogenesis and spermatogenesis. So because it is in female, this is a female egg. So therefore, what happens is that we talk about what? About oogenesis. Oogenesis can be is the process whereby eggs are formed from what? By meiosis in female. But if it is male, we say spermatogenesis. If it is both, it's what? Is gametogenesis. I'm sure we have also identified and explained on that. And then the part of the retina that contains no rods or cones, it is actually the blind spot. It has no rods and cones. It is the blind. It is the blind spot. We say that it has got no rods and cones, which we say that it has no photoreceptors. It has nothing to see. We are saying it cannot be able to see color. So we are saying no photoreceptors are there. It is quite the blind spot. And then question 1.25, the release of an ovum from the ovary, we call that what? Ovulation. Ovulation, which we said that it causes what? The formation of corpus luteum. So it is ovulation, the extra embryonic membrane that plays a role in the formation of the placenta, the extra embryonic membrane that plays a role uh, in the formation of the placenta. We call that the chorion. It is called the chorion. A plant hormone responsible for seed dormancy. We have been talking about seed dormancy there. That is responsible. It means it stimulates or it causes seed dormancy, a season of sleepiness, a season of inactiveness, inactiveness of a seed or a plant. So what we say, sometimes they will say it actually allows plants to survive stress. That is called, it is called abscisic acid. It is called abscisic acid. And then the maintenance of constant internal environment within a narrow limit, we call that homeostasis. Homeostasis. Homeostasis is a process through which the body has got the capability of maintaining metabolic functions, or it controls life processes within narrow range in order to allow the functioning of various enzymes, enzymic functions, and also to support life. These are some of the quick, I'm sure that you can see that was so interesting and good. Question 1.3. Question 1.3, the hormone responsible for the development of secondary sexual characteristics during puberty. It is actually during puberty, we are saying the hormone, it is actually both estrogen and testosterone. We are saying this is both A and B, and then plays a role in the pupillary mechanism, as we can remember, before I go to the next one, estrogen hormone is actually the main female hormone for secondary sexual characteristics. The estrogen, it is the main female hormone for secondary sexual characteristics, and then obviously B is also the one for male secondary sexual characteristics. So they are both A and B in this question with 1.3, and then we are saying plays a role in pupillary mechanism. Plays a role in pupillary mechanism. It is the ciliary muscles and the radial muscles. It is also both. I remember, if you can look at this, it is also both A and B. It is both A and B, which we say that the ciliary muscles controls the shape of the lens for focusing. We should talk about accommodation. I'm sure I remember we once talked about we talked about accommodation previously. The ability of the eye to focus on near and far object or near vision. So the radial muscles are in the iris and also dilate the pupil in dim light. So what we need to understand is that the circular muscles, of course, they are not listed in this regard. They constrict the pupil in bright light. Therefore, what I want you to understand is that A and B are involved in the eye functioning. They are actually involved in the eye functioning, as you can see. A plant defense mechanism, as you can see, we say that the thorns, they are a physical defense and then a chemical defense. So it is also both A and B. As you can see, it's also both A and B. As you can say, thorns are a physical, structural, basic defense against animals that feed on vegetation. We call them herbivores. And then chemicals such as we talk about the toxins or the alkaloids, as well as in other compounds, a form of chemical defense which also enables plants to survive or to be able to be not browsed by animals. We are given question next, which is actually represent plant response caused by hormones. This is also plant defense. We are talking about what? Tropisms in this case. Tropisms. We talk about tropisms in this case. Let's just go straight to the questions. What is happening is that the question is saying give the letters of the diagrams that represent a response due to abscisic acid. A response due to abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, we said that it is actually, we remember we said it promotes seed dormancy. So what you need to understand is that in terms of this abscisic acid, it promotes seed dormancy and causes leaves to fall out in some of the trees, which again, the diagram that we are given here, they are having active growth, which we can see in diagram A, there is active growth there, which we can say germination, and then we also the light against gravity and all those which are primarily caused by abscisic acid. So what we can see is that in diagrams that are given here, none of them, we say none actually promote, none is shown which represents abscisic acid, because we said abscisic acid, we said it promotes seed dormancy. It promotes seed dormancy, which actually is not there. We are seeing A has got germination taking place. We see A has got germination, B it's phototropism, which is also a response that is also caused by what? By also that abscisic acid and so forth. And then next question is saying auxins, a diagram that responds, that is showing that response, that shows response due to auxins. Auxins, we can say A, we see that A, there is germination, and also we have got the bending of the plant, We have got phototropism here. Phototropism. This is a plant growth response promoted by what? By auxins. So we can say we have got auxins there. We have got auxins, and also we have got auxins, which is responsible for the responses of plants towards light. We said that there is unequal growth that is caused by the uh, movement of what? Of auxin hormones hiding themselves from the direction of sunlight, which they tend to over concentrate in what? In the X side of the plant than Y. Hence it grows faster in X, and then Y is slow, then the plant bends towards light. It is also on the channel for the grade 9s, grade 11s, and those who are still in class. So we are saying this can be A and B, and then gibberellins. Gibberellins, gibberellins, if you can see here, if you talk about gibberellins here, it is actually the diagram what? Diagram C. We have got gibberellins here, which is actually diagram C. Gibberellins, they stimulate shoot elongation. They stimulate elongation of shoots and also break seed dormancy. There is elongation and the breaking of dormancy. And the break dormancy. So we can agree to say that this is diagram what? This is diagram C. Diagram C can actually show that we have got the gibberellins there. What happens is that they stimulate shoot elongation and break seed dormancy, initiating germination also. And then we have got in diagram C, which we can see that there is a healthy upward elongated growth of those plant shoots, a response that is linked to the gibberellins activity. That I can say that therefore gibberellins can be shown by C. And then identify the diagram response shown by the roots in diagram A. To identify the growth response shown by the roots in diagram A, I sure that you can see that the growth of roots, we always say that if ever it is roots, we talk about what? We talk about geotropism. If it is about roots, we talk about geotropism class. If we have to talk about geotropism, and then we talk about that is positive geotropism, or roots are positive geotropic. There is positive geotropic in what? In terms of the roots. So we say that this is what? Geotropism. Geotropism. And then in diagram B, as you can see, we can talk about phototropism, as I have already shown there. Phototropism, which is also positive phototropism. It is also showing, in other ways, don't forget this also, we can see that there is positive phototropism because the roots are moving towards gravity. And then we also have positive phototropism, which is indicated by the what? By the stem. The stem is actually showing phototropism that we can see there. And then using X and Y in the diagram B, state which side of the stem has the highest concentration of auxins. I have already mentioned in my initial introduction to this, the issue of auxin concentration. I was saying that the concentration of auxins, they tend to be concentration of auxins, they tend to be on the shaded side of the what of this curve. So we have got high concentration, high auxins in X than Y. And then what happens is that we are saying concentration of auxins. The auxins actually they migrate away from light, or they move away from the source of light. So they tend to be highly concentrated in this side of the what? They tend to be highly concentrated in this side of the stem on X side. And then what we need to understand is that it has to be highly concentrated in what? In X. We talk about the X side, that is side in the shade, or we can just say shaded side. I told you the reason that auxins are light sensitive, so they move away from the source of light and they become highly concentrated in what? In the X, or in the dark side of the what? Of the stem. And then rate of cell division, highest rate of cell division also occurs there. It occurs also in the X side, X, the shaded region also. X is the one that can also have, remember, auxins are responsible for cell elongation. So we tend to have highest growth also takes place in what? In X zone, or in the X side. So the X side, uh, it has the highest growth due to high concentration, of auxins. This is one interesting topic again, which I presented previously for those who are following Metric Hub. And please, like I said, Metric Hub is there for let's keep on following and connecting. Use this opportunity to also refer your young brothers and sisters and any other families to say that Metric Hub is actually one site that can change your life. Uh, you wanna go to the diagram, which is also the structure of the neuron. To my class, those who are typically in my class, when I shared you the video, the last video that I shared you, I told you that that paper, it actually presented almost everything that is expected of you in the exam. So what was left was for you to do the structure of the neuron. I said go and do neurons, and actually we have done them anyway in class. But anyway, for those who are still in class, please join membership so that we can be able to extensively do this, and distinctions are quite possible. We have got the direction of impulses, and then we are given the structure of the neuron here. And then the question which we are asked is that name the type of neuron represented. What is the type of neuron that is represented here? I did also have I did also a video previously, almost to all of us who are on this channel. What is this neuron? If you can see, we said that with the cell board that extends, with this cell board that you are seeing there. So what you can see is that this is a what? This is a motor neuron. It's a motor neuron that is identifying the type of neuron. This is a motor. It's a motor neuron that you can see here, which we said again, it is also called the efferent neuron, efferent or motor neuron. We said that it can be seen by the cell body that is extending away from the axon. And if you compare it also to the other two types of neurons, this is quite distinctive. You can see this is a what? A motor neuron. And then identify parts B, part B, identify parts B. As you can see, B is actually part B. B is actually the axon. This is actually the axon. As you can see, B is the axon. B is the axon. And then D, we call this a cell body. This is a cell body. You say it's called a cell body there. A cell body is also called what? It is also called soma. It can also be called soma. And then E is actually, as you can see there, E is actually the axon terminus. We call that axon. We say that it is called the axon terminus. It's called the axon terminal that we can see. And then give the letter of the part that contains the genetic material of the neuron. That contains the genetic material of the neuron. It is actually, genetic material is contained in the nucleus class. Nucleus contains the genetic material. We are saying it is the nucleus which contains what? Genetic information. Genetic information is contained in the what? In the nucleus. I'm sure that we can talk about that, and we have talked about it quite a lot of time. So it is C. It is C, and then insulates the neuron. Insulation of the neuron is actually because of the Merrelin sheath. The insulation is actually given by the Merrelin sheath, which you can see that it's what? It's F. The Merrelin sheath, it actually covers F. I'm just writing them, but it's saying, the question does not say write. I'm just writing them for the interest of revision. The Merlin sheath, which actually helps to speed this, to speed up the transmission of impulses in the neuron. Makes synaptic contact with the interneuron. The synaptic contact with the interneuron, it is actually the terminal, the axon terminals. Actually, they are there to form a synaptic contact, which is the synaptic, we say that that is actually we can say the synaptic, makes synaptic contact with the interneuron. It is actually, we can give that it can also be axon terminals, or we can even say that A can still be still be fine. It is actually and then name the disorder that is associated with the degeneration of part F. The degeneration, we are talking about the dying out. It is actually the one condition which we have talked about multiple times, which is called multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is actually one disease that is caused, which is one disease that actually causes the degeneration of the degeneration of the Meraline sheath, it dries and scrape out, and then it causes retardation in the movement of what? In the movement of neurons, meaning movement of impulses. Question 2, in birds, the yolk is the main source of energy for developing embryo, which is correct. We have got the diagram that provides information about the eggs of some types of birds. It provides what you call developing embryos here of some birds. So we are type of birds, average percentage of yolk in the egg. So there are given types of birds which you can see there. And then question first is saying, explain why we may conclude that the duck displays precocial development. Duck displays precocial development. The duck, what we can see is that this is the duck here. Why can it be defined to have precocial development? Why a duck can be, we can say that, we say average yolk size is 35.4. It is the highest of all of them here. So why can we say that it is precocial development? So we say why precocial development for a duck, 35.4% yolk. That is what we are given there, 35.4% yolk. So what we need to understand is that why should we say that it is precocial? So in this case, what we need to understand is that it is precocial because their eggs have high percentage of yolk. As you can see, the egg is highest percentage of yolk. It has got the highest percentage of yolk, which I've given there, 35.4%. It actually means that the yolk provides abundant energy. The yolk provides a lot of energy for the developing chick. So now what happens is that it actually provides a lot of energy or nutrients. These nutrients actually enables the what? The eggs, we are saying the chick are having energy from, I mean, they have got the nutrients from that highest amount of yolk there. So this allows the embryo to reach an advanced stage of development before hatching. They reach, it allows the developing embryo reaches an advanced stage of development before hatching. They reach an advanced stage of development, which actually they reach before hatching. And then precocial chicks, they are actually they are fully developed characteristics of these ones. I'm sure I remember that you need to know that precocial chicks are mobile. They are mobile, that we can know. They are mobile, meaning to say that they are able to move soon after hatching. They have open eyes. They have open eyes. I'm sure that you know that they are able to see and feed themselves, can feed themselves that I'm sure you know that they can feed themselves, which is shortly after hatching, requiring less intensive parental feeding than artificial birds, requiring they require less parental feeding than artificial chickens or artificial birds. Artificial chicks. So as you can see, what happens is that we are saying they are precocial because they are fully developed from hatching. They are fully developed from hatching, and then it is because of the yolk that provides enough nutrients to ensure that these chicks are fully developed to an advanced stage before hatching. So therefore they are hatched, or they hatch while they are able to move. They have open eyes. They are clothed as to say that they have got feathers, and they require less or little parental caring than artificial chickens. So that is why we can say that the duck is what is precocial. So as you can see, the examiner just wanted you to he wanted to see if you just understand the meaning of precocial, to say what do we mean if we say precocial development, and then name the three birds that would have high degree of parental care, the three birds that would have the three birds that would have high degree of parental care. So as we can see here, what we are saying is that parental care actually are those young which age at an underdeveloped state. They should be helpless at that stage, which we say that they are artificial, and then or they can be semi-artificial, and then these species typically have eggs with lower percentage of what they have got eggs with lower percentage of yolks, as one thing that you need to understand, because their growth relies heavily on what, on active feeding by parents and by parents after hatching. So based on what we are seeing here, we can actually see that the ones with the lowest levels, or with the lowest yolk percentages, are the ones that we can refer to say that they require highest degree of parental care. So we can have that one, the lowest, we can say the lowest, it is the eagle. We can say in this case, we have the eagle, we have the eagle. The next one, it is the vulture, the vulture. And we actually have lastly the pigeon. The reason is because they have the lowest sizes or lowest percentage of yolk from these three. That is why we say that they are the ones which can have a higher degree of parental care. Okay, the question next is saying, give a reason, give a reason for your answer. The reason is what we have given already. We said these birds have lower percentage of yolk in they have got lower percentages of yolk in their eggs because they have lower percentage of yolk. They have lower percentage of yolk. We said that again, that this means that the embryos receives less nutrients during incubation. embryos, their embryos they receive little energy and nutrients during incubation. They actually receive little energy or nutrients during incubation. So what happens is that that results in them resulting in them hatching underdeveloped, resulting in them hatching underdeveloped, hence the need of parental care. More parental care for protection. This is what we can see. It is because their yolk is, they've got lower percentage of yolk and their embryos receive little energy or nutrients because of that small yolks during incubation, resulting in them hatching underdeveloped or as artificial. Hence, more parental care for protection is needed for them to grow. That's what you can need to actually relate in that respect. So we are given male reproductive system here. We are given male reproductive system. The letters we are given give the letter and name of the gland that secretes. Give the letter and the name. Give the letter and the name of the gland that secretes testosterone. Testosterone is secreted from what? Testosterone is actually secreted from testes. So we need to say then the letter testes is what? We can see that testes is what is C. Is C. And we say testes or testicles. Let's just say testicles, which is C. Part that stores sperm until maturation. Sperms are stored in the epididymis. It is actually B. Okay, sorry. It's A, which is epididymis. It is a long coiled tube that allows sperm maturation, which is A. And then explain the role of scrotum in sperm production. The role of scrotum in sperm production, 2.2. 2.2. The role of scrotum in sperm production. Actually, what you need to understand is that the scrotum is a pouch of skin that is located outside the body cavity. It is actually act as a climate control system. The scrotum, it acts as a climate control system. It acts as a climate control system. That is one thing that you should understand for the testicles. So therefore, what you need to understand is that it holds the testes at a temperature slightly lower than the body temperature. Both testes at a temperature slightly lower than the body temperature to allow sperm maturation. The temperature is sometimes something like 2 to 3 degrees Celsius lower than the body temperature. It is actually an optimum temperature that is needed for sperm maturation. So uh, what happens again is that the testicles has got muscles that actually it has got muscles that contract or relax to move the testicles closer to the closer or further from the body to regulate the body temperature. Testicles, sorry, the scrotum, it has scrotum actually has got this it has got the scrotal, or it has got the muscles, is muscles that contract and relax to control or regulate this temperature. As you can see, therefore, this is very important in terms of what? In terms of sperm maturation. So the muscles actually they contract to put them up when temperatures, we are saying on a cold day, they contract, on a very hot day, they relax, controlling or regulating the hanging or the size or the depth from which, or the distance from which testicles must hang from the what, from the body, in terms of allowing optimal temperature for sperm maturation. That is one thing that you need to know. Name and describe the process of sperm production. Describe the process of sperm production. We say that 2.2.3, it is called processing. It is called spermatogenesis. I mentioned it again. Spermatogenesis, the production of sperms. It is production of protozoa, guys. Spermatozoa, production of spermatozoa. It is called spermatogenesis. So what you need to understand is that the process, in terms of the process, we need to understand that we have got germinal epithelium cells in the semiferous tubules that actually in the testicles divide by mitosis to form more spermatogeneas, which therefore grow into diploid primary spermatocytes. Germinal, or we have got germinal epithelium cells. We call that spermatogenia. Spermatogonia. Actually, they are in the semiferous tubules. what they do is that of testes, they divide by mitosis to produce more spermatogonia. That is one thing that you should understand, which grow into diploid primary spermos. These they grow into diploid primary spermatocytes, into diploid primary spermatocytes. You remember that the issue of 2n, to say that if they are diploid is 2n, and then we have got meiosis taking place. Meiosis occurs in the second step. We have got meiosis 1 and 2. Each diploid primary spermatocyte undergoes the first meiotic division to form two haploid secondary spermatocytes. Meiosis 1, each primary spermatocyte what happens is that it undergoes first meiotic division. It undergoes first meiotic division, which you need to understand that it forms a haploid. It forming haploid. It means, remember, haploid means half, forming haploid, secondary spermatocytes. If you remember these ones, they are actually what? They are actually two. Two are formed. Two secondary haploid primary spermatocytes are formed from first meiotic division. So now, what you need to understand is that as this occurs, we have got meiosis 2 taking place, which also which also resulting in 4 haploid spermatocytes. Meiosis 2 results in 4 haploid spermatocytes. We have got meiosis 2. Meiosis 2, where each of the 2 haploid secondary spermatocytes undergoes the second meiotic division, resulting in 4 spermatocytes. 4 spermatocytes are formed, and then we can talk about the maturation process, which you need to understand that 4 haploid spermatocytes then mature. They actually differentiate into functional motile haploid sperm cells, the spermatozoa that we are talking about, developing a head with an acrosome, a mid-piece packed with mitochondria. If you remember the structure of the sperm cell, which we say that it is used for energy, and a tail, which actually also is very important for locomotion. They are then stored in the epididymis. So that is the basic process of spermatogenesis. It's just quite long, but I'm just narrating now in order to cut the story short. I'm just giving a narrative in order to cut the video short and time factor. So we have got 2.3, which actually identifies thickness of endometrium varies throughout the menstrual cycle of a female. It is shown by table results for a woman who had endometrial thickness monitored for a particular menstrual cycle. So we are given now that the days of the menstrual cycle, they are given 0 to 28 days, and the thickness is shown also varying as it is given on the table there. So questions which are coming here are saying that the questions that we have are saying, referring to the ovarian hormones, explain the decrease in thickness of the endometrium from day 7. Explain the thickness of the endometrium from days 0 to 7. It is one thing that I want you to understand is that from day 0, we are here to 7. So we are looking at this thickness. So what I can say is that what I need to let you see and understand is that the decrease in the thickness, decrease in thickness from days 0 to 7. From day 0 it was 14, and then it went to what? It was 14, it decreased from 14 to 3. So we need to account for this decrease. So what we need to talk about here is that a decrease in endometrium thickness thickness from day 0 to day 7. Which we can see that it decreased from 4. We have got 14 to 3, the decrease that we have there. So what we need to understand is that from day 0 to 7, it is actually decreasing due to menstrual phase. The decrease in the endometrial thickness is it actually occurs due to menstrual phase. It occurs due to menstrual phase. As you can see, we are saying it occurs due to menstrual phase, and then which we can say the period. The menstrual phase, we refer to what? We refer to the period. So now, what happens again is that at the end of the previous cycle, which is day 28, at the end of previous cycle, I want you to understand that the levels of ovarian hormones, progesterone, the levels of ovarian hormones, the ovarian hormones that we can talk about, the progesterone and estrogen. And estrogen, what happens with them? They actually drop sharply. They drop sharply. What happens is that they drop sharply if a fertilized egg does not implant. I'm sure I remember this sequence. If there is no implantation, so the levels of these hormones, they actually drop very seriously, because remember that they are very important in if implantation does not occur. So this decline in hormones levels causes the functional layer of the richly supplied endometrial lining to break down and shed, resulting in the menstrual bleeding. I'm sure this we have also nicely explained it in the previous or during the class that the decline in the hormones causes menstrual cycle to take place. Decline in these hormones, decline in these hormones actually causes functional layer of the causes it causes the functional layer of the richly supplied endometrial lining, the functional layer of richly supplied endometrium lining to break down and shed. They can actually break down and shed, which we can call this. I'm sure that you remember that this is called bleeding, which we can call bleeding, and then that would actually means to say that there is a decrease in the in the endometrium. So obviously now what we are saying is that it is a hormonal period. It is a hormonal process, as you all know. That this process it's a hormonal process that you need to understand, which is regulated by various hormones. So the absence of progesterone and estrogen actually causes the functional layer of the endometrium lining to break down, and it can actually shed, that we call bleeding. So what happens is, therefore, the endometrium, it can actually uh, it can actually become what? It can actually go down. We can go to the next question. Referring to the hormones, explain the increase in thickness of the endometrium from day 7 to 14. Increase of the endometrium from day 7 to 14. Let's just see the increase. Day 7, it was 3, day 14, 5. So explain the increase in endometrium. Reasons for the increase or increase in endometrium from day 7 to day 14, which we said that it is the increase is from 3 to 5. The increase is from 3 to 5. So what we need to understand is that the increase, what causes it to become thicker? That is what we need to understand. There is quite a lot of points that I can just basically give as a narrative in this one, to say that thickening, actually it involves several processes actually that are stimulated, like they are stimulated by estrogen and progesterone hormones. So one thing that I want you to understand is that the estrogen stimulates the cells in the lining to divide and multiply, increasing the overall thickness of the of the functional layer, which we call the endometrium. And then it can also, because of the endometrial glands, they become more elongated and more complex, which we can say the vascularization which takes place because of the elongation of the arteries and increase in depth and surface area ensure adequate supply of supply and flow of nutrients, which we can say that these nutrient accumulation, which we need to understand that progesterone later causes the glands to accumulate uh, to accumulate and also fluids, making the lining rich in nutrients to nourish a potential embryo that can implant it there. So that is one thing that you need to understand, to say it is quite a complex process that is based on the effects of progesterone and estrogen, as I have mentioned in this respect. So I say that progesterone basically it is coming at a later stage, which it must actually uh, causes the glands to accumulate some energy reserves and fluids, which are preparing for a rich supply of nutrients, also for the nourishment of the baby or of the embryo, if ever fertilization might take place. Question next, 2.3.2. Describe changes in the endometrium that causes that describe changes in the endometrium that cause it to become thicker. We talked about that supply of blood and nutrients that is actually provisioned in regard to readiness or preparation for what, for pregnancy. That's what we those are the points that we can put in that. State the significance of the change in endometrium thickness. 2.33, the significance of this one, it's actually uh, it is actually becoming thicker and more vascular, as we said. This, it becomes thicker, it becomes thicker and more vascular, becomes thicker and more vascular uh, to prepare for the to prepare the uterus for potential pregnancy. Preparing the uterus for potential pregnancy. So actually the endometrium must thicken to prepare for potential pregnancy or to prepare for pregnancy. So now what we need to understand is that a thick, soft, and nutrient-rich lining provides the ideal environment for a fertilized embryo to implant successively and also receive the necessary nourishment that is needed for growth and development. So that is one significance, one of the significant values or reasons for for this thickening. It is a thick, it should be thick, soft. The endometrium is going to be thick, soft, and nutrient. The nutrient-rich lining, actually, it is very important. It provides ideal environment It provides ideal environment, which is actually for fertilized embryo to implant. Environment for fertilized embryo to implant. We say that the implantation is attachment to implant successively and receive necessary to implant successively and receive necessary nutrients. For growth and development. That is the importance of the thickening that we are talking about. It actually becomes thicker, it becomes vascular or granular, so therefore it prepares for pregnancy, where it becomes softy, it becomes sticky and also nutrient rich, such that can also take place. So there is such a environment that needs to be important for the growing or growth of the endometrium. Draw a bar graph to show the results in the table. This is just a simple graph. We are saying draw a bar graph to show the results in the table. A bar graph. Remember this, we said that a bar graph must have a title. A bar graph must have a title. So our title one thing that you should know is that there should always be a title. So here is just endometrium thickness. Endometrium thickness for 28 days. Endometrium thickness it is for 28 days. And then we said that we should choose a scale. Our scale, we are going to say the days actually are on the horizontal axis, and the vertical axis has got the thickness of endometrium. We have got the thickness of endometrium in the vertical axis. We have got thickness of endometrium. The thickness of the endometrium is given in what? In millimeters. Given in what? Thickness of the endometrium given in millimeters. And then we have got menstrual cycle in days. We have got cycle in days. We are given the cycle in days. So we have to choose a suitable key class. A suitable key must be considered. We have got our highest. This is our highest. It's our highest value. And then it is our lowest. So we should choose a possible key that can be able to accommodate the graph to be very visible enough and also not to be too big, not to be too short. So we have got a range of values from 3 to 16. From 3 to 16, if we say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, or we can say 4, 8, 12, 16 going forward. I can choose to use a range, a scale of what? Of 4. I can choose 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So I can say 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So that is my values there. My endometrium thickness scale. Obviously, our 0 is there on the start point. So we can just draw our bar graph. On day 0, we have got day 0, the thickness is 14. Day 0 is 14, which is going to be somewhere here. This is gonna be, I say it's 14, day 0. 0 is 14, which I said that every time, don't forget to put your figures on top of the bars. Day 0 is 14, and then day 7 is 3. Day 7 is 3. Day 7 it is equals to, we have 3, which we say is day 7, and then we have got the next day, day 14, 5, day 21, 13, day 14, 5, day 14, 5, day 14 is going to be 5. We have to put our 5 again, which is day 14, 5, and then day 21, 13, 21, 13, day 21, it has to be 13. Day 21, and then we have got day 28. Day 28 is 16. Day 28 is 16. So yeah, these are our numbers class. That is our graph. We have got 13. We have got 16. As we have done this, this we can say it's time in days on the vertical, on the horizontal axis. We say this is time, which is given in what? In days. So we are saying this is your graph that you can draw. And if you can do this, no one gonna say anything. This is gonna be the best answer that you can give to say that this is a bar graph. This is a bar graph where the bars are not supposed to be touching each other. They should have labels to mean to give the readings of what are they representing, the values that they are representing. So therefore, you get all your marks as I've said. You can see also we don't give all the numbers as they are from the set of data that is given, but we choose a specific scale, 4, 8, 12, 16, and then our data is well clean and the table is not too small and is not too big. 2.4, the diagram below represents the differences in diameter of an arteriole close to the surface of the skin. These differences are due to changes that occur during thermoregulation, and then under different environmental conditions. Y shows the atrial under normal conditions. And then the question is saying thermoregulation. I'm sure class you remember that this is what temperature regulation, the constriction and the vasodilatation of blood vessels in response to temperatures, so as to cause evaporative cooling. So name the part of the brain that controls thermoregulation. It is actually controlled by the hypothalamus. It is the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is actually responsible for thermoregulation. Give the letter of the diagram which represent the atrial under a cold day, which is under a cold day. It has to be what? It must be close. It has to be constricted. Constricted. It has to be small. It actually has to be small to reduce subflow of blood to the surface, to reduce blood flow. To reduce blood flow. To the surface of the skin in order to control, or in order to cause temperatures to be what? To be high. So this has to be X. It is X. The constricted one is the one that represents a cold day. And then explain the significance of the changes in the diameter of the atrial from normal conditions to conditions in Z. What we need to understand is that the changes from normal conditions to Z, from normal conditions. This is vasodilatation. This one, vasodilatation is occurred. It is vasodilated, a wide opening. It is wide opening or wide opened blood vessel. So what we need to understand is that explain the significance in this. So the change, it actually represents vasodilatation. Vasodilatation. It actually represents vasodilatation, a significant increase in the diameter of the atrial, showing a significant increase in the size of the atrial. We refer to the diameter class. So what does that mean? It actually this shows this response is a mechanism which we need to understand that the body uses when it needs to lose excess heat, such as on a very hot day or during a strenuous exercise. It happens when the body needs to lose excess heat. It has to lose excess heat. And therefore, what we need to understand is that It allows greater flow of blood from the capillary to actually flow near the surface of the skin. Allows more blood to flow near the surface of the skin to allow evaporative cooling. Plus, I remember last time, if you can check, you always talked about more blood has to flow near the surface of the skin. So the increased blood flow brings excess heat from the from the warmer core, board to the cooler skin surface. So now, what happens is that heat is therefore transferred from the blood to the environment through radiation, and then this enhances heat loss. So therefore, the body temperature can now be reduced. That is what you need to understand. Heat is transferred from the blood, is transferred from the blood to the environment. The environment actually via radiation, which we say that when that occurs, it actually increases heat loss and allows cooling of the body. It enhances heat loss and improves or enhances the cooling of the body temperature actually by homeostasis to go back to its normal range. That is what has to occur, or that is what is happening in that case. Uh, Idiopathic short stature describes a condition where children have normal height, birth height, but grow slowly and do not reach the expected height for their age group. So this condition is not due to malnutrition or different lifestyles. Scientists investigated the effects of added growth hormone to height of children with this condition. So uh, the procedure was as follows. Consent was obtained from parents of a group of 2-year-old boys with the condition. The boys were divided into two groups. Participants in Group A received human growth hormone at a daily dosage, which is given there. The participants in Group B did not receive the hormone treatment. The height of the participants was measured and recorded monthly until each participant reached the age of 18 years. So at 18 years of age, the average height in Group A was 8 centimeters, and more than that in Group B, 8 centimeters more than that in Group B. And then what happens here is that the question is saying, the first question is, state the dependent variable in this investigation. The dependent variable, it is actually the height of the participants that we are measuring. Height of the participant is depending on growth hormone, so it is height of participants. Height of participants is dependent. And then list 3 variables that were kept constant, which contributed to the validity of the investigation, which were kept constant. we can talk about it was given there, the age of the participants, the age of the participants, it is also the gender, the condition. We have got we are saying variables that we talk about. It is given that the age, the 2-year boys were taken. We talk about the gender, which we say they were all male. We talk about duration of the investigation, duration of investigation, duration of the investigation was also kept constant. We also talk about the dosage of the growth hormone. Dosage of the growth hormone. Dosage of the growth hormone that was given also. Dosage of the growth hormone that was given to group A. It is given that in question that they were given this we are saying 0.028 milligrams per body weight. The dosage was kept constant also. So we are saying it is the age, which you can see that we talk about the 2-year-old boys. We talk about the gender, which is the male, duration of the investigation, which we are saying measured until each participant reached the age of 18 years. It was until each participant reaches 18 years. That is the duration of the investigation. So those are the things that I can mention here. And then explain the purpose of Group B in this investigation. Group B, the participants did not receive. Group B did not receive the hormone treatment. So what we need to know is the moment you see that unmanipulated setup, we say the moment we talk about unmanipulated setup, that would mean that this is a control of the investigation. It's a control of the investigation, a control of the experiment. It is a control of the investigation. That is one thing that you should know. It actually provides a baseline for comparisons. That's what we are talking about. It is used for comparison purposes, comparing the height increases in Group A, which we say that they received the growth hormone, versus those in Group B who did not receive anything. So it is actually used in order to confirm the effects of the growth hormone and so forth. How does the growth hormone affect? And then what next is saying, calculate the daily amount of added human growth, 2.54. Calculate the daily amount of added human growth hormone that was given to a boy with a mass of 25 kg. Show your working, including correct units. So what we need to know is that this, we must be able to understand that dosage rate was given here to say dosage rate was given as to say the dosage rate was given as 0.02 milligrams per kg. So 2.25, 2.5.4, we need to have dosage rate. It is given that it is 0.028 milligrams per kg, and then we are given that the boy's mass is 25 kgs. We are given that the boy's mass is 25 kgs. So what we need to do is that we are given this, and then we need to calculate the total daily amount. Total daily, we need to calculate the total daily, the total amount. So total amount is equals to dosage rate times mass. Dosage rate multiplied by what? Multiplied by mass. So, which we can say this is equals to dosage rate 0,028 multiplied by 25, which is our 25 kg, and then you can just calculate that. You can just calculate, and we can just calculate that. If you can multiply it, put it through the calculator, it can give you 0.7 milligrams. Zero 0.7 milligrams. You can put it through the calculator, you get that answer. Give a conclusion for this investigation. If you look at this, we say that give a conclusion for this investigation. At 18 years of age, the average height in group A was 8 centimeters more than that in group B. Was 8 centimeters more than that in group B. So what we are saying is that we can say that addition of human growth hormone treatment increases the average height of a 2-year-old boy with what? With the condition ISS. Conclusion 2.55. Addition of growth hormone. You can say addition of growth hormone treatment increased it increased the average height of a 2-year-old boy who suffered with ISS. So if a person is given the growth hormone, the height increases. If a person is given the growth hormone, the person increases the height. That's what we can say. Remember that conclusion, you don't calculate anything. You are just giving what you are seeing here. We are given the diagram below represent the structure of a normal eye and that of an eye with astigmatism, and even curvature of the we are saying an even curvature of the lens. So the question is saying we are given identify we are given the question, identify fluid A. Identify fluid A. Fluid A, it is aqueous humor. It is aqueous. It is aqueous humor. And then part B, we can see is the what? We can see part B. And then C. What I was saying is that for the interest of time again, these I actually answered them. Also, they are answered they are answered in other videos there on the channel. So for the interest of time, I'm not gonna keep on labeling the structure of the eye. We labeled it. We labeled the human eye severally, and that has been done. Let's answer question 3.12. 3.12. 3.12. Describe the appearance of the cornea of an eye with astigmatism. It is actually having an irregular shape. As you can see, it has got an irregular, uneven curvature. We say it has got has an irregular. It has an irregular shape. It has an irregular shape. It is actually curved. It is actually curved. It is curved differently in one direction. Curved differently in one direction than the other. It is curved differently in one direction than the other, which you can see from the diagram here. It is, you see, we are saying this one is even, it's a normal, this one is normal, as you can see. And then this one, we are saying it's one which has got what? Astigmatism. Astigmatism is this one, which we are seeing is the affected one. So, explain how astigmatism affects vision. Actually, what happens is that astigmatism affects vision because the irregular shape of the cornea or the lens causes incoming light rays to be reflected unevenly. It causes incoming light rays to be deflected to be reflected unevenly. So what we need to understand is that instead of focusing light onto a single shape or focal point on the retina, the light is focused on multiple focal points or focal lines. This results in blood or distorted stretched vision at all distances. That is one thing that you should understand. Light is focused on multiple on multiple points, resulting in blurry. Light is focused on multiple points, causing distorted vision. That is one thing that you should understand. And then in terms of the treatment, treatment is correct. Treatment of the condition in terms of the treatment, we can also change the contact lens. We can do contact lens, changing of contact lens. We can also use refractive surgery to reshape the cornea. Reshaping of cornea through surgery. Reshaping of cornea through surgery. We can also maybe use corrective lenses or spectacles. Can use corrective lenses or spectacles, which we can say they should actually have cylindrical lenses in terms of this. Uh, 3.2, it actually shows a human nervous system, and then it is the we say the cerebellum, the cerebrum, and then we talk about the medulla. So the question is saying, the question spinal cord, of course, name the branch of the nervous system represented by parts shown. Name the parts of this. We're saying the spinal cord and the brain, they represent the central nervous system. This actually represents the central nervous system, which we say it's called CNS, central nervous system. And then give the letter and name of the part responsible for balance and coordination. Give the name, then give the name, or give the letter and name of the party that is responsible for balance and coordination. Balance and coordination. You should understand that it is cerebellum is responsible for balance and coordination, which you can say B. Cerebellum, we can say cerebellum. Control breathing. In terms of, we are saying, in terms of control breathing, breathing is controlled by the medulla oblongata, which is C. Medulla oblongata. And then control skeletal muscles. controls skeletal muscles, we can say that is what the skeletal muscles control skeletal muscles. It is A, the cerebrum, and then describe the pathway of an impulse from part D through the spinal cord to part E to bring about reflex action. Describe the pathway. So in terms of this, it is just you are supposed to describe the reflex ache. Reflex ache. This part you can just let it go. It's just cancelled. So number describe the reflex ache is 3.2, 3.2.3. Reflex ache. So what I'm saying, class, is that the pathway that we are supposed to describe, we are saying the pathway described is a reflex ache. The pathway is the reflex ache. You should describe the reflex ache. That is the pathway. It is actually the reflex ache. So what we need to understand is that which allows for quick involuntary responses that are that often bypasses conscious thought by brain initially. So we talk about reception and transmission by sensory neuron, which we need to understand that an impulse is received by a receptor connected to the sensory neuron. The sensory neuron transmits this impulse to the spinal cord, and then the synapse is in the spinal cord inside the gray matter. Inside the gray matter, what happens is that the spinal cord, we are saying inside the gray matter of the spinal cord, the sensory neuron synapses with an interneuron. The sensory neuron, it synapses with the interneuron. We are talking about the association neuron. This interneuron processes the signal and immediately passes it to what? To a motor neuron for a reflex action or for a simple reflex ache. That's what you need to understand. And then we talk about the transmission by motor neuron. The motor neuron carries the impulses away from the spinal cord to an effector organ. And then the response that is given by the effector, where the impulse reaches the effector, e.g. the skeletal or the gland, which actually carries out the appropriate reflex action, rapid muscle contraction to withdraw or hand to withdraw a hand from a what? From a hot surface. That can be how you can describe that process. And then describe how an ear, describe how a human eye accommodates a far distant object. So we are talking about accommodation. You are looking for focusing on far object. Accommodation, focusing on far objects, or we can say distant vision is what you are asked. Distant vision is what you are asked. It has been answered again. This is 3.33. We answered it again before, which we need to understand that when the human eye accommodates for distant vision, the ciliary muscles actually they relax, and then this relaxation causes the suspensory ligaments to become what? To become taut, or to become taut, and then the tension on the lens increases, pulling the what? The flexible lens flat. The flexible lens is pulled flat. Consequently, this allows the lens to become less convex, that is to become thinner, which reduces the reflective power, allowing light from distant objects to fall onto the what? To fall onto the retina, and then a clear vision is given. 3.4, identify. This is the human ear. I have also, we have done it also severally and given it. And then identify, we have labeled it quite a lot of times. And I think for the interest of time, I'm not going to take much time on it. Identify parts A. Identify parts A. A, as you can see, we say the visible part of the ear is the what? Is the pinna. It is the pinna. And then B, we can say B, as you can see there, B, it actually signifies the oscus. It is the oscus. It is the oscus, which I think you know that we have got the incus, the steps, and so forth, the small bones that are found there. Give the letter of two parts that are normally filled with fluid, which are normally filled with fluid. We talk about normally filled with fluid. It is part C and D. We are saying it is C and D. C and D. And then what happens is that as you can see, the semicircular canals that you are seeing, and then what happens is that which are fluid filled, and then D is representing the Kochli, which is also snail-shaped structure filled with fluid. I am sure that you see that E is the Eustachian tube, that we can see that E is the Eustachian tube there. Describe how balance is restored when there is a change in the speed and direction. I have also answered this several times. Question 3 we have answered it severally, that balance is maintained and restored primarily by the semicircular canals, which you can see that we said these are C labeled the semicircular canals, and the vestibular system in the inner ear. When the head moves, what happens is that when the head when the head moves, the fluid inside the semicircular canals is displaced due to the inertia, and moves in the what? In the opposite direction of the head movement, which we are talking about. The bending of these hair cells stimulates them to generate nerve impulses, which we can call electrical signals, which we say these impulses are transmitted via the what? The vestibular portion of the vestibular Kochli nerves to the cerebrum and to the cerebellum and the brainstem. So what happens is that the brain processes this information regarding the head's position and movement, and regarding the head's position and movement and sends corrective signals to the relevant skeletal muscles, which is the neck and the limbs, to adjust posture and restore the balance. That is one thing that we need to know, to take note of the 3.44. When a person is exposed to loud noise over a long period, it may lead to noise-induced hearing, which is caused by damage of the ear cells in the organ of the cochlea. These cells are not repaired when damaged. Placing earplugs in the auditory canal can prevent damage from the ear cells. So we can see that the question is saying damage. Explain how the damage of the ear cells in the organ of cochlea can lead to hearing loss. This you need to understand. The ear cells in the organ of cochlea are primarily sensory receptors. These are ear cells. Ear cells are primarily sensory receptors. These are primarily sensory receptors, which I want you to understand. These are, we are saying they are primarily sensory receptors responsible for converting mechanical sound vibration, responsible for converting, they are responsible for converting mechanical sound vibrations into electrical impulses. They actually convert them into electrical impulses that the brain interprets as sound. Which the brain interprets as sound. So what you need to understand is that when loud noise damages these cells, what happens is that they can no longer function effectively, or they can die off completely, because the cells do not regenerate in the form in humans, and this can cause permanent damage. So what we are saying is that without the ear cells to transmit signals to the auditory nerve, sound energy cannot be properly relayed to the brain, resulting in what? In hearing loss. That is what you need to understand in this respect. And then earplugs can prevent damage to the hair cells in the organ of cochlea. Earplugs can prevent damage. So earplugs can actually prevent damage of hair cells in the organ of cochlea. They are actually designed to physically obstruct the external auditory canal. These ones, they are designed to physically obstruct the external auditory canal. That is one thing that you should understand, acting as a barrier. By acting as a barrier, so they typically made, they are typically made of sound absorbing materials. So what happens is that by doing so, earplugs significantly decrease what? They significantly decrease the intensity, which we say the loudness of what? The loudness of the sound waves that reaches the eardrum and are transmitted to the inner ear. So the reduction in sound intensity protects the hair cells in the organ of the coach from excessive mechanical vibration and acoustic trauma that would otherwise damage them. So this is one of the information that you should understand. So we are given insulin levels of 3 people over 23-hour period who were treated as follows. We are given their treatment as follows there. So the first question which is given here, name the organ that secretes insulin. Insulin is secreted by what? By pancreas. Pancreas is the one that secretes insulin. Pancreas, and then state the number of meals that were eaten during 23-hour period. What happens is that the number of meals that were eaten in a 23-hour period, one thing that you should understand is that you should be able to see that the graph from person B, which you are seeing there, it actually shows sharp distinct peaks in insulin concentration. It shows sharp distinctive peaks. We have got 1, we have got 2, we have got 3. We are saying these are distinctive peaks that are shown, that are actually shown in insulin concentration at approximately, we can see it was, we have got at 8 o'clock. NB we have got at 8 o'clock. The other one was something like, the other one was around 2 o'clock. And then we have the other peak, which is happening around 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. The other peak, which is around those times. So now, what is happening is that these are corresponding times rapidly in these corresponding times. They show rapid acting insulin was injected before each meal. So what we can say is that it is actually, we can actually agree to say that there are 3 times. Sorry. We are saying these are shown by the levels of increase of insulin. So we are saying 2 point, it's what? It is 3. It is 3 based on the analysis of the increase or the sharp distinctive peaks in insulin concentration that we are seeing across the times that we are talking about there. And then tabulate 2 difference between long-acting insulin treatment and rapid-acting insulin treatment over 23-hour period. Here it's just like to say, we are just going to put the people, we are going to draw a table, we put the features, we talk about long-acting insulin, rapid-acting insulin, I can say feature, and then I say long-acting insulin, long-acting insulin, and then we have got rapid-acting insulin. So what we need to look at is just to be able to give differences or give tables there. We are saying we can talk about the concentration profile, we can talk about the purpose, which we can talk about all those. So therefore, when we look at this, is that ability of a learner to be able to give these distinctions, to say frequency in terms of, we can talk about person B and C. Person B and C, we talk about their frequency, how long and how much were they being injected. If we look at person long-acting insulin, we are saying, for instance, we say the timing it was injected, long-acting insulin, it might have been induced once a day, and then the rapid one, it has been in multiple times before each meal. Rapid, it has to be induced rapid several times before each meal. So I guess because of time and everything, guys, you can look at this, name the type of insulin treatment that is similar to insulin secretion in a healthy persons, type of insulin treatment that is similar to insulin secretion in a healthy person. 5.4, type of insulin treatment that is similar to insulin secretion in a healthy person. We can talk about this, we can give it as long-sighted. We can say that can be long-acting insulin treatment. Can say this can be long-acting insulin treatment, long-acting insulin treatment, long-acting insulin treatment, which we can say that a healthy person that is given as our person A can be given as the healthy person. We are saying that maintains a constant low baseline level of insulin. It actually maintains a constant baseline level of insulin throughout the day, with extra bursts after meals. Extra bursts are also occurring after meals. The long-acting insulin treatment actually is crucial. It mimics, or it copies the crucial constant baseline levels seen in person A. So what we are saying is that we can say that is long-acting insulin, and then explain why person B may experience a lack of energy after receiving a rapid-acting insulin injection. This can be because may experience lack of energy after receiving a rapid-acting insulin. It is because when rapid-acting insulin, we can talk about this can be issues to do with, let's say, for example, we are saying If we say person B may experience a lack of energy after receiving a rapid-acting insulin injection, if no meal is taken, therefore, what happens is that when person B injects rapid-acting insulin but does not eat a meal, the insulin enters the bloodstream and rapidly facilitates the uptake of glucose in the blood, which of course we are saying that from the blood into the body cells, since no new glucose is coming from food to replenish the bloodstream, the high level of active insulin quickly removes the existing glucose from the circulation, leading to very low blood sugar, because glucose is the primary source of energy for the brain and body cells. This low blood sugar levels results in in symptoms of lack of energy, fatigue, and other things such as dizziness. So those are the things that you can also put in regard to that. So quite a lot of times you have seen this question severally coming. Thank you very much for your time, and all the best in your career pathway. Have the best opportunities, and please don't forget to refer your young brothers and sisters. Tell them that the best place to be is Matric Hub. We are here to serve you. We are here to save them. We are here to bring light to all. Let's do it now, and let's do it together. Have a beautiful festive season. Paper 2 is coming. We are going to upload it again. We are going to work it again. Let's mark and have a peaceful festive season, knowing where we stand. Thank you once again.